Hello everyone, and welcome to the Miss Pink Digital Podcast, home to everything digital marketing, brand building, and tech. And on today's episode, we are going to be doing a little FAQ series where each episode I will answer an FAQ. That whether that's one that I've seen or had online or one that I frequently have been asked by clients in the past. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get through all the big questions that are in the digital marketing world. And the first one is probably one of the bigger, most frequent questions I've had within my career. And that is, should I focus on SEO or PPC? And this is unfortunately a question that doesn't really have a yes or no answer. You'll notice that within this series, as most of them don't. But I can give guidance and then people can kind of take that guidance and do what they want with it. So in case people don't know, everyone does know, but let's just run through the basics to begin with. SEO and PPC, what are they? SEO stands for search engine optimization, and it's basically where you try and follow core principles on your website and make your website's content to the liking of search engines such as Google and Bing. And it allows your website and pages on your website to organically rank in certain positions for keywords. Keywords are obviously search queries and terms that users would type into Google. Once they type them in, click enter, and then you get ads, but you also get organic queries there as well, or organic results, I should say. And your website and your pages could be one of them if you have an optimized website for search engines. So that's kind of the SEO side. And then PPC stands for pay per click. And this basically means you are using software such as Google Ads or Bing Ads to put your ads in those positions for those keywords, similar to SEO, but instead of generating that click for free, you pay a specific amount to generate that click into Google or into Bing. And this is called bidding for your keywords. So that's kind of what the two are. And they both kind of complement each other. So typically, I go into this in more detail shortly, but typically if your SEO is optimized, it also helps from a PPC perspective. And if you follow PPC best practice principles on your landing page, this also helps from an SEO perspective as well. So although they're two very different things and you typically have two different people or two different career paths managing them, they complement each other. So let's talk about which one is going to be more beneficial for you. So like I said at the beginning, there isn't really a yes or no answer. There isn't really a SEO is better than PPC. PPC is better than SEO. You need to do this. You need to do that. It's all dependent on a number of factors that influence what direction you go in. First of all, you need to look at how quickly you need this traffic / want this traffic onto your website. When it comes to SEO is a long game. It is all about making these optimizations on your website, incrementally continuing to make them, and then keeping an eye on, your search visibility, where you're showing in search, and trying to do what you can to help that search placement improve. It's not going to be a case of you launch a website, you do a few optimizations, and automatically you're going to be at top of Google all the time generating organic clicks. That's not how it works. It can take a minimum of 3 to 6 months, sometimes longer, before you even start seeing the results off the back of your optimizations you've made. Also, on top of that, Google is frequently releasing core updates when it comes to SEO that can negatively impact your website's positioning, especially if you don't follow, the new core update rules and principles and stuff like that. So there's been a lot of instances where users on the platform and website owners have actually completely lost rankings because a core update has come out and completely messed up their rankings for them. That's another thing to bear in mind as well. Now, when it comes to PPC, so pay-per-click marketing, this is better when you need clicks and traffic more instantly, because you are paying for that position, you are paying for that click, so you are going to get that traffic at a much faster rate than you are with SEO. Does that mean you're going to get conversions? No, but I'll go more into that in a moment. So if it's a case of timelines and you need traffic as quickly as possible, obviously PPC is going to deliver that for you over SEO initially. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, oh, well, that's answered my question, I need to do PPC right now, I'm going to give you a counter argument to that. Even though you can get traffic at a faster rate from PPC, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to go all in with PPC and that PPC is going to be your problem solver. PPC or any form of paid advertising should not be looked at as the thing that's going to solve all of your problems. It needs to be looked at something that is going to be an expense. It could potentially be very expensive as well if it doesn't generate you quality traffic. It needs to be looked at as something that, like SEO, needs to be optimized and won't necessarily generate the results you're looking for straight away, because the platform does need to learn what's working for you versus what isn't. It does need to be optimized and it does need to be managed professionally. It's not going to be a thing that you just turn on, you get traffic, you get conversions, and you're winning as a business. If everyone had that, everyone would be very, very successful business owners. So yes, it can bring you that instant traffic, but doesn't mean you're going to get instant business off the back of that traffic. Also, another thing to keep in mind with SEO versus PPC, SEO, you do need the time and potentially the budget to create the content for your website to help improve your organic rankings. If you don't put in the time and potentially the budget to do that, your website is only going to go so far. It's not going to see the results you want, especially at a faster pace. PPC as well needs the time when it comes to campaign implementation, but it also needs budget, like actual ad spend budget. SEO doesn't need the ad spend budget. PPC does. And if you have a very, very small budget, nothing wrong with that at all. By all means, there is nothing wrong with investing a small budget into ads, but don't invest a small budget and expect amazing, or not necessarily amazing results, but don't expect volumes and volumes and volumes of customers. That's not going to get you very far. A small budget can get you customers at an efficient cost and allow you to get a return on those customers, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get thousands of customers off the back of thousands of clicks, because that small budget won't carry you that far. So it's important then to utilize or think about how much budget you have, having a look within the Google Ads platform itself and look at the keywords, do a bit of keyword research, see what the average cost per click per keyword is, and then do some backwards calculations. So you're essentially going to look at your figures that you need to make it worth your while. So what revenue do you need to be driving off the back of ads? What return do you need to be driving off the back of ads? How many conversions do you need? How many clicks do you need? And stuff like that. Then look at industry benchmarks if you don't have pre-existing ad account data. Have a look at conversion rate benchmarks, have a look at click-through rate benchmarks, and then go into the platform and have a look at the type of keywords you're going to be bidding for and what is the average cost per click of those keywords. Then you can say, okay, I have this amount of budget. Based on this amount of budget, I can get this amount of clicks. And then based on this amount of clicks and industry standard conversion rates or average conversion rates that I see on my website for analytics, I expect to see this many conversions and I need this many. Is it going to be worth my time? And that's what you've got to look at from a PPC perspective. If the numbers don't align and are not within your targets, then it's a case of assessing, is PPC the best approach for you at this time, or should you focus on that organic traffic? Or do you need to reassess your targets? Are they unrealistic in terms of what you need to kind of get that initial visibility? It's also important to look at, when you're using ads or when you're looking at using ads, the quality of your user's experience. And is it ready? Is your website and your overall funnel and user experience ready for the potential increase of new users to your website? Anytime you run any form of paid advertising, you're increasing the chance that you're going to reach users who have never heard of your business before, especially if you're a small business. And it's going to be their first impression of you. And it's important to make it a good one so you don't waste your budget. So before you even start with ads, I would also recommend having a look at your site, seeing if it's conversion rate friendly, seeing if there's any areas you need to improve, and have a look at social medias, make sure they have been posting content frequently and that the content's of quality, and also have a look at things that users will look at to gain trust, like reviews and feedback that other users of your service or product have left. In conjunction with this, it's very, very, very important to ensure that whether you're running paid ads or choosing to focus on SEO, that you have the time to work and optimize your web pages or your campaigns or anything like that. And I would never say put all your eggs in one basket. This is a very common mistake I've seen with businesses where they just put all their focus into one thing and kind of let everything else go a bit out of control, unoptimized, not really bothered about it. But then when that medium that they've fully focused on starts to see a dip, their whole business feels it. And I notice this a lot with ads, because ads is such like an instant gratification medium and model. They put all of their energy, all of their efforts, all of their marketing budgets into these ad campaigns. And then their ad campaigns start to lose momentum and start to generate lower conversion rates. Google brings out a new update where that campaign type isn't available anymore and things like that. And then they just see their conversions completely drop off. And they have no idea what to do because they've scaled their business off the back of a successful ad account, but haven't optimized any other points in their funnel, haven't looked at any other ways of traffic generation. And then they really struggle and panic, as you can imagine. So don't make this mistake. If you do choose to opt for PPC initially to get that initial traffic over SEO, then always make sure you're optimizing your SEO in the background. Don't just assume because you're getting this PPC traffic, you can just forget about SEO and SEOs doesn't matter. You always want to be optimizing your website from a user perspective, from an SEO perspective, to really allow everything to eventually all work together in harmony and get a really nice system going when it comes to your marketing activity. So just because you opt for one, don't let the other fall behind. That would be my core advice. There isn't one that's better to go for over the other. It's all about eventually making sure they all work in harmony together and never letting one fall behind because you're focusing too much on another one. There's nothing wrong with having like a core source of conversion generation, like a channel that's your bread and butter, but that doesn't mean your other channels should go unoptimized or forgotten about or neglected. So yes, to round everything up, is SEO or PPC better? Which one is it? There isn't an answer to that. It's all about the speed and the timelines in which you want to generate traffic. If you're going the route where you need as much traffic as possible, as quickly as possible, then PPC is obviously going to cater for that more. But it's also all about the budget you have. If you do not have the budget, but you have the time, then SEO is going to be a better option for you. And PPC may be better later down the line when you have the budget. And it's all about content. If you don't have quality content on your website, then PPC is only going to get you so far and your SEO is going to struggle. And if you don't have the right assets, then PPC is only going to get you so far. It's all about finding a middle ground and figuring out, based on your niche, based on your industry, based on where your business is at the time and what you need at that time and what you have to hand at that time, what approach is going to be more beneficial for you in the short term. And whilst focusing on that short-term activity, looking at that long-term plan and making sure that just because you're focusing on one channel at this time, that you don't neglect the other. But yes, I hope this episode was helpful. This is the first episode in the FAQ series, and I look forward to recording more, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Thank you for listening.